Football is back. We're so back, baby. We're so back. Excited for the season. And today, I want to talk about it because, of course, we're talking football. Patrick Mahomes trying to go for a first three-peat in Super Bowl history. It might happen. Shit, who knows? Aaron Rodgers coming back from injury. One of the best quarterbacks to ever throw a football. So many young players. It's just exciting. Football's exciting. But first, hi, I'm Eric, or Ty, whatever you want to call me. I make videos about stuff I don't like, stuff I do like. This one happens to be the second one. I'm going to be laying out my predictions for the 2024-2025 NFL season. Everything from division winners, the conference championships, Super Bowls, records, end of season awards, all that. All the good stuff. I write about sports. Been writing about football for like 2-3 years now. So, if you want to think I know something because of that fact, then, you're probably wrong, but that's a fact. So, I guess we'll just kick it off with division standings and, regular season standings, what it's going to be looking like come playoff time. We'll start with the AFC East. It's hard not to like the Jets. I think the Jets are going to win the division. That's one of the best defenses of the last few years. Looking to get better, potentially. The Bills, I think they're going to squeak in a playoffs, 10-7 record. I think Josh Allen is going to do everything he can to will them into, winning positions. I think their defense is really good. Could be better with, Von Miller staying healthy. Matt Milano just got hurt. I'm not sure how high I am on their D-backs. So, 10-7, making it as the last playoff spot. The Dolphins, 10-7 also, but 3-3 in their division, so actually shaking out to be the last team out of the playoffs. Patriots, defense is good, got worse, everything else. We'll see how Gerard Mayo is. AFC North, they've been one of the best divisions in football historically. I think it's going to be a lot of the same this year. I have the Bengals, Browns, and Ravens all winning at least 12 games. The Bengals actually going 13-4. And spoiler alert, Joe Burrow MVP candidacy? I think he could be really... the way that their style works, if they are playing amazing, he's probably going to be MVP candidate. I think and hope and pray he stays healthy. I hope everyone stays healthy, but I'm an LSU fan. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him get his Super Bowl. At least succeed. The Steelers haven't had a losing season since their head coach has been their head coach, Mike Tomlin. He's going to end up in a Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the best coaches ever, but probably one of the worst best coaches ever, in my opinion. I think it could potentially be one of his last seasons, especially, obviously, if they have a losing season. The Browns, I think, are going to be a really good team. I think even if whoever they put out on the field, I think they have 3 quarterbacks who could be good, even though one of them is an alleged, assaulter. I think one of them has to be good enough to win some games with Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy on the outside, Nick Chubb coming back probably by the middle or towards the back end of the season. But that defense is crazy. I'll take that defense to win 9 games by themselves. Ravens, 12-5, not that surprising. Some people probably have them winning more. Yeah, it's the Ravens. They're that's top to bottom great football team. On to the AFC West. We got Patrick Mahomes. We got Jim Harbaugh joining the Chargers. We got Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Chiefs are going to win that division, obviously. Shaking out to be the 3 seed with 12-5 record. The Chargers, I think, winning record. That defense is not it. I don't see that defense coming together to be super scary, and then their weapons limit what Justin Herbert can be. I think they'll run the ball more than, what people would expect them to because it's John Harbaugh. 9-8. I think they're going to win a surprising amount in the division. I think they're going to probably sweep the Broncos, probably sweep the Raiders, split with the Chiefs, something like that. I think the Broncos are going to be in a lot of close games, ultimately losing most of them. The AFC South has a bunch of young quarterbacks, and I think CJ Stroud's obviously the best of them. 4 seed for the Texans, 12-5, 5-1 in the division. CJ Stroud is going to do his thing. I have the Colts going 8-1. The Colts always are involved in weird endings. I don't know. I just think they're going to end up tying a game. I think the game I chose for them to tie was the Vikings. Yeah, I had them tying the Vikings in week 9. So watch out for that one. Jaguars, I think are going to underperform. I think 8-9 is probably something what we're looking at. Ultimately, a lot of really solid teams are going to end up missing the playoffs out of the AFC because I think the really good teams are going to win a lot. Titans I have going 2-15. Does anyone want to contest that? I mean, I don't like their defense. That's one thing. I don't like their offensive line. That's another thing. Losing Derrick Henry, that's terrifying. Tony Pollard is not it. We'll see how Will Levis does, but I don't know if he's going to win you 3, 4, 5 games. I don't know about that. We'll move on to the NFC. Green Bay Packers fan. I write about the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to win the NFC North. And that's going to be looking like a 12-5 record. I think they could potentially win 13, 14 games. But the Lions, 10-7. I think the Bears will make the playoffs in the NFC at 10-7. The Vikings, I wish we could have seen JJ McCarthy do his thing. They probably would have won closer to 5, 6, 7 games. With Sam Darnold, I don't have them winning a game in the NFC North. I think they're going to get swept across the board. And like I said earlier, I have them with that tie in the Colts. So 2-14-1 is what we're looking at for the Vikings. I think the Bears roster is just too good not to win 9-10 games. Especially their defense. That defense is really strong. I think the only thing holding them back would be interior offensive line, especially whenever it comes to run blocking, and a rookie quarterback. No, it's one of the most highly touted prospects in, NFL history. For the NFC West, I think it's going to be a strong division once again. 49ers are going to do their thing. Obviously, that's one of the best rosters, one of the Super Bowl favorites. I don't like Brock Purdy, but he's not going to lose you too many games, at least in the regular season. So, they're going to win it. They're going to win that division. The Rams, I think, are going to look a lot better than people think. Losing Aaron Donald, I think they picked up the right pieces, even though it might have not been a lot pieces, and I like their draft a lot. And Matthew Stafford with Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Sean McVay drawing up plays. I think I think I'll take them winning a nice chunk of games. Ultimately making playoffs again. I think Kyler Murray will perform with the Cardinals, but their defense will hold them back. They'll stay competitive in most games, 9-8. Seahawks, a lot of the same stuff. I think they'll be competitive, but I don't like their defensive line. I don't like their offensive line. 8-9. I could see that being a little worse, though, if I'm being honest. This is going to be the year the NFC East kind of implodes, I think. At least the top two teams. I have the Eagles winning it at just 9-8. Cowboys there as well, 9-8, but missing the playoffs. I think the Commanders will be priming themselves for the future. Jaden Daniels is going to ball out. Terry McLaurin will probably have minimum 1,500 yards. Not a big fan of their defense. The D-backs, not my thing. I don't dislike Daniel Jones. I have the Giants going 6-11. Probably gonna lean farther towards, 5 than 7-8. But their receivers are just flat out bad. I'm sorry. They're going to have no one getting separation besides Malik Neighbors. So we'll see how that goes. The NFC South. Yeah. Not going to be the prettiest, I don't think. Falcons winning it at 9-8. The Saints not doing the best in the division, going 3-3 within the division and losing a playoff spot. Baker Mayfield, despite getting paid, I think will probably come back down to earth. When he's not in a prove-it year, he's probably not the best. Panthers I have going 1-16. They don't necessarily have an easy schedule, and they're not great. I don't hate Bryce Young, though. I think Bryce Young's solid. I don't like their offensive line. I don't like their receivers. I don't like their scheme on offense. We'll see. We'll see how they look. But they just let Brian Burns go for nothing, and I'm good. I'm good on the Panthers. 1-16. To wrap up what the playoff standings look like, the Jets and the Bengals with the best records in the NFL. Ultimately, Jets win tiebreaker to get the 1 seed in the AFC. In the NFC, I have the Packers and the 49ers 1-2. Ultimately, it's the Packers head-to-head win on week 12. Week 12 against the 49ers, I have the Packers winning that one to get revenge of last season. So that would put them at the 1 seed. The other division winners for the NFC being Eagles, Falcons at just 9-8. And in the AFC, we got Chiefs, Texans probably looking pretty hot come playoff time, as Patrick Mahomes does. The Texans picking up Danielle Hunter is crazy, by the way. Fuck Stephon Diggs. Danielle Hunter, that's a pickup. That's a crazy pickup. I got the Browns, Ravens, Bills at the 5, 6, 7. And then Rams, Lions, Bears at the 5, 6, 7 in the NFC. We have the Dolphins narrowly missing. The Cowboys, not so narrowly. The NFC is just top heavy. The wild card round, we got Texans over the Browns. I'm going to say the Ravens upset the Chiefs in the wild card round, sending them home early. No three-peat for the Chiefs. Bombshell. I think Derrick Henry on the Ravens is crazy. I think come playoff time, that's going to be a juggernaut. They're just built to win playoff games at this point. They needed consistency at the back. They got it. Bengals beating the Bills. Ultimately, I don't think Josh Allen's going to be able to will them to a playoff win with this roster. But that game could go either way. Especially if the Bills' defense is super healthy. I got Matty Stafford winning another playoff game, extending that Hall of Fame career. Obviously, over the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons are going to do it with Kirk Cousins, personally. Lions over Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are going to be consistent or notable come the end of the year. Niners over Bears. In the divisional round, I'm going to take CJ Stroud, getting past the Bengals defense that I do think will be strong, but not elite. I think he'll get them to an AFC championship. I'll take the Jets over the Ravens. I think the Jets defense, those linebackers and defensive line can contain Derrick Henry to a degree. And I think they'll stay disciplined enough on Lamar. The D-backs can do their thing. Ultimately, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Boringly, I have the 1 and 2 seeds in the NFC, the home going on to the NFC Championship. Packers, Niners, rematch from last year. And then, to go to the Super Bowl, I'm taking the 1 seeds. Sorry, kind of boring, but I'm taking the 1 seeds. The Jets roster is horrifying. The only thing that has to happen is Aaron Rodgers be 70% of what he was pre-injury. That's it, 70%. And I think they go to the Super Bowl. I think the Green Bay Packers, from an unbiased perspective, have playmakers all across the offense, a young running back who can make plays at a moment's notice or grind out a game, an offensive line that is diverse and can do everything. Jordan Love is him. He's paid that much for a reason. And then the defense has first-round picks all around the board and a new defensive coordinator who I think will activate them to be scary. Plus, the no tape on their defense with a new scheme will come to benefit them, especially in, the front half of the season. I think the Niners took a small step back last year. I mean, they replaced Dre Greenlaw with Devondre Campbell. Small step back. And Brock Purdy isn't him. To win the Super Bowl, I'm going Packers. I'm going Packers to win the Super Bowl. What would I be a fan if I didn't say the Packers were going to win a Super Bowl? If you are a fan of a team and your team is good, you should be saying that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to be saying the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl every year with how good this team is. It's good enough to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to say I think they're going to win a Super Bowl. We have a lot of good stretches in the schedule to make it work, so yeah, I have Packers winning the Super Bowl. 2024, 25 season, Packers, Super Bowl, sorry about it. Bing! Super Bowl MVP, Jordan Love. Maybe, Jair Alexander, if he happens to shut down Garrett Wilson and, make Garrett Wilson have, 17 yards and Jair has, 2 picks. I could see that, too. If we lose, probably, Breece Hall. If we lose, it would be him running for 300 yards because that's just how the Packers work. MVP, I don't think it'll be Aaron Rodgers despite a 1 seed. I think Breece Hall's going to get a lot of tote and I think he's going to be good. So MVP, I'm going to go Joe Burrow. Joey B doing his thing, getting it. You give Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and a healthy season, he can be MVP candidate, and I think he'll do it. I like their schedule. Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's gonna be between CMC and Tyreek Hill. That's just safe, but yeah, I think that's what's gonna go on. Defensive Player of the Year, I'm gonna go probably Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett. Dude's horrifying. I think the rest of the defense will help him get there. If not Garrett, then Bosa. I think Nick Bosa will do his thing. It's Nick Bosa. I don't know how many black quarterbacks they play, but one of them. Tyreek Hill, Myles Garrett, Offensive, Defensive Player of the Year. Boom, call it. Coach of the Year, I think maybe Kevin Stefanski. I think He's one of the best coaches in the NFL, and if he gets the Browns to 12 wins, it'll be hard to deny him. Packers get to 13, 14 wins, probably like 13. I think Matt LaFleur could be there, but I'll say Kevin Stefanski. Comeback player of the year, Aaron Rodgers, obviously. I don't really have to say much else. Dude tore his Achilles. He's going to come back, probably go to a Super Bowl. At least I say. I think the NFC East is going to disappoint. I don't think none of them's going to get to 10 wins. I think the Cowboys are going to probably blow it up. Maybe try to trade Dak or... Yeah, they just re-signed him, I think. But they're probably going to trade him. And it's... hopefully it's Trey Lance season and he's good next year. Breakout star. I think some breakout stars are going to be Dontavian Wicks from the Packers. He's, I think, listed at wide receiver 4 right now. He's going to be a rotational wide receiver, primary outside receiver. One of the best man coverage threats in the NFL. Statistically was last year. I think he's going to be a lot of the same. Deep threat. He's going to do his thing. He's going to have 900 to 1,300 yards. Kyler Murray is going to be one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the NFL and secure himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Top 10 at least. Despite going 9-8 because of the defense, he's going to look great. That's really all I got to say. To run down it, we got Packers winning Super Bowl against Aaron Rodgers. You know, seems like a good script they'd go with. Joe Burrow MVP. Shout out LSU. All in all, I think it's going to be a fun NFL season. It's hard not to be. NFL's awesome. Green Bay Packers are about to win in Brazil against the Philadelphia Eagles if they actually hold it there because of the wildfires. Then you'll all be like, damn, he right, bro. They're really serious about this. They're going to win, and the Eagles are going to be mid, despite having Saquon Barkley. But I'd love to hear what your opinions are, what you think's going to be going on, you know, who you think's going to get the 1 seeds, who you think's going to win Super Bowl, MVP, whatever. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear if you think I said anything dumb. I don't think I said anything dumb. I give you stats for anything I said if you think I'm joking. Like I already said, sports writer. I'll have links to all that in the bio. I write about Green Bay Packers. I write about Miami Dolphins. I write about UFC. Bunch of shit. You can check out my Instagram if you want to stay in touch with everything I'm posting on everything I be doing. Subscribe if you fucked with this video and you want to see some more. You don't really have to like it. YouTube doesn't really care about likes. Like I said, comment if you got something to say. I don't think I have anything else to say. Bye.